welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber Jordan, and this is Possibility Storm Control. Possibility Storm is a weirdo enchantment that every casual player knows about. Whenever a player casts a spell from their hand, that player exiles it, then exiles a card from the top of their library until they exile a card that shares a card type with it. That player may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put all the cards exiled this way to the bottom of the library in a random order. So on the surface, this card reads, you don't really know what your spell's going to do. It's going to be a different spell when you cast it. But there's lots of ways to break this. For example, if cards that cost 0 get countered with Vexing Bauble or Boromir, or if you just can't cast 2 spells in a turn with High Noon, or if you can't cast spells other than when you have the ability to cast a sorcery like Teferi, or if you can't cast spells from exile like Drannith Magistrate. We've got a bunch of pretty normal defensible Magic cards. Certainly Teferi is just a modern card all on its own. Drannith Magistrate has been getting play. It's solid against stuff like Ruby Storm or Cascade decks that are built around casting spells from places other than their hand. High Noon and Boromir, a little more of a stretch to call these modern playable, but they are powerful against certain strategies, and we just kind of have these in as value prison objects on our way to slamming Possibility Storm. And because we have the benefit of knowing the Possibility Storm might be involved in the game, we got to build our deck around it. Shark Typhoon is not a spell. It doesn't have a mana value. Don't look at the top right corner. It doesn't exist. Cycling this has no interaction with Possibility Storm. You just get a big shark, you get to draw a card. Foretell gets around the clause of Possibility Storm. It says when you cast it from your hand, if you cast from exile, something like Doomscar or Starheim Unleashed, it will not trigger the storm, and you can win or sweep the board even under Possibility Storm plus High Noon, or Possibility Storm plus Vexing Bauble. We can't get hard locked completely, even by the symmetrical effects. Chandra Awakened Inferno cannot be countered, which means that if Vexing Bauble is my lock piece, I can cast Teferi and just send Chandra into the bauble. It cannot be countered. Flage gets cast from the graveyard, which is not my hand. Fable the Mirror Breaker generates all sorts of value just in play. And then we got some spot removal to stay alive long enough to resolve a 5-drop. That's the idea anyway. Let's see if we can make it work. This is Jeskai Possibility Storm. I'm on the draw on round 1 versus a Gigantha strategy. I'm going to keep my hand with spells and interaction in it. The most popular Gigantha deck is just energy. Being able to Prismatic Ending Ragavan or an Ocelot Pride or a Guide of Souls on turn 1 is a big deal. Hand's a little slow after that, but we got to start somewhere. There's the Ravioli. I think I'm actually going to fetch basic Plains to do this with. We are both Blood Moon decks, and I'm not in a hurry to need my other colors right now. And I might want to save some damage. The Hub, a Johnny, a powerful card. Starheim Unleashed. All right. I think I am going to fetch out a Hallowed Fountain here, because I'm likely to cast Teferi next turn, and I'm going to foretell Starheim. Let's just get this in the bank. Where did that go? Oh, it's up behind Gigantha. Here we go. All right, I have a foretold card. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to keep it. It's just behind Gigantha. I wish this was Doomscar. That would have been perfect, but it's okay. They dumped a Lightning Bolt into the graveyard. Next turn is the One Ring turn. If they don't do something even more messed up first. Okay, they just passed. Bouncing the cat token is pretty solid, actually. That takes pressure off without flipping a Johnny. Okay, that was a great draw. I don't really need double blue ever. That means I could fetch basic Mountain with this Arid Mesa. I am going to need double red eventually, because that's what Possibility Storm costs. Just going to bounce this cat. Fable, solid. We're going into the One Ring turn. If they just shove the One Ring here, that's something we're going to have to try to get ahead of. However, The cards in my deck, like High Noon, do mitigate the impact of the One Ring on a game, because although they are going to have a lot of cards to choose from, they do only get to cast one per turn. Slamming land number 4 quickly here. Hopefully we won't have to do this much longer. I'm recording this in the window where the One Ring is very obviously toxic and should not be legal in Modern, but this is the window I have to work with. There it is. I think getting Fable in is the best thing I can do right now. That gives me a tap land in damage free and lets me get some selection going. If I can P-Storm lock them, the One Ring doesn't matter. There's Flage. It is risky that the best deck in the format plays Flage, because that is a spell that many decks have that doesn't get cast from the hand that can win the game on its own. Oscillate Pride. Alright, would be great to draw a Doomscar. Static Prison. Alright. Is knocking me right out of this game. Millions of Cats in the end step. Shark Typhoon off the top. Alright, this is 4 damage. Alright, I mean, I guess I'm playing this Fable. Ring activation straight up to 7 cards in hand. This is why it's hard to brew in Modern right now. I did discuss with Jordan, the designer of this deck, should we just like take an established One Ring Jeskai control deck and just add like 2 Possibility Storms somewhere in the deck to go with the Teferis. And we decided intentionally to make it more of a Possibility Storm deck rather than just make an existing Modern deck slightly weirder. We're playing for science here, not just for winning the most games with Possibility Storm. Lightning Bolt. Can't have nothing around here. I take 4 in combat, which also gains life, which triggers the cat. I'm just dead on the spot if they have Bombardment. A second Flage. I'm not dead on the spot to that. I'm very close to dead to that. They could have Helixed one of their own cat tokens there, flip a Johnny, and that actually deals more damage than Flage does, but they don't actually need to do anything like that. But I'll fetch myself into bolt range because that has to happen anyway. I'm going to get Elegant Parlor, get some selection. Unfortunately, I think that fetch means I can't actually win, ever, because even if I do Wrath this turn, there's 2 Flages in the graveyard and I'm at 3. Dranith Magistrate. I think I'm going to actually just leave that on top then concede, because they didn't see anything other than a Foretold Starheim Unleashed that would give away exactly what I'm doing, and I don't really want to put it on their radar if I don't have to. Okay, I've cast in the Fire for the One Ring. I have Temporary Lockdown for every other card in their deck. Sun Cleanser for the energy. Surge of Salvation protects me from removal. Blood Moon definitely not part of this plan. Shark Typhoon is really slow. I need to deal with what they're doing first. Vexing Bauble. Do they have any cards that are naturally soft to Vexing Bauble? I don't think so. They do have Flage and Amped Raptor that are soft to Dranith Magistrate. High Noon can check the One Ring at least a little bit. Yeah, I think Vexing Bauble is coming out. I am aware that a bunch of my block pieces get sucked up under Temp Lockdown, but I can try to sequence that as is appropriate. I could bring in Consigns to fight the One Ring, but I think that's the only card in the deck I actually would want to consign, and it makes me care about Blood Moon when I otherwise don't have to. This deck is barely blue. It's Boros, Splashing Teferi, and Shark Typhoon. And knowing I'm playing against a Blood Moon deck, I don't want to increase my weakness to that when I could just decrease it. Yeah, I might just go 0 Shark Typhoon here. Just focus on stability, and then I'll win with whatever at the other side. Ugh, 1 lander. That stinks. I am going to have to mulligan this. It just does not. It has a whole plan, but I'd have to draw 4 lands in a row to be happy with it. I have 21 lands. I could fetch Elegant Parlor for selection on turn 1. Or I think I'd rather just mulligan. Okay, I am happier with this hand, though it's not as sexy with the whole combo available. This at least does have the ability to play the game for a little while. Opponent kept 7. They have one of their dozen busted 1-drops in the deck. They always do. That's the strength of the deck. Elegant Parlor. I don't want another Arid Mesa at this point. Multiple Dranith Magistrates. I could play Dranith, which would slow down an Amped Raptor start. I could also just foretell Doomscar and let them do whatever they're going to do this turn and then just kill it. Yeah, I think playing Drannith makes them add to the board. Like attacking through a 1/3 is something that they're going to have to add to the board to get through, and then Doomscar sweeps up even harder. And if their plan was Amped Raptor, that just doesn't work here. Okay. Galvanic Discharge, all good. At least making them play off curve. Hostile Pride. Still curving just fine. This deck is so busted. Okay, there's a Prismatic Ending. I could remove one of these. I think I'm just going to foretell Doomstar. Yep, that's the plan. And then I'll fetch Meticulous Archive this turn for the selection in my third color. Unless they play Blood Moon, then I'll just get basic Plains and Wrath and carry on with life. Regrettably, they're in a spot where they don't actually have to add to the board. I have to answer what they're doing. They missed their land drop. I will keep the P-Storm. I need a plan, though it's not ideal. Okay, they successfully played around Doomscar by not adding to the board. Let's see if that was a played around it turn or a just didn't have a land to play a card turn. Johnny, you got it. Start drawing lands here. Fable. Okay, I could play Drannith and kill the Cat Warrior. Or I could play Fable and clench my cheeks for a turn. I'm going to play the Fable. Cat Warrior gets a good attack. They'd be happy with this trade. Not going to give it. Raptor. Hit Goblin Bombardment. Just the nuts. Drannith Magistrate would have stopped that. And then they get to pick off my Goblin Shaman for free. Then I have to spend a turn answering a Johnny. Okay. Hard mode activated. Flage. Okay. I think I would like to loot away Flage, because going into the graveyard is great, and I have enough removal already. Okay, I'm definitely discarding Flage. Do I discard Drannith as well? I kind of need all my removal right now. Okay. I need my removal, and I would like to draw lands. Drew another Drannith. The land I drew is not red. Okay, Prismatic Ending this Ajani. And I think I just want to answer the cat here. I'm doing it now. They have Goblin Bombardment. Just... Okay, they didn't bombard me. That's lucky. Snuck one through. They found land number 3. Getting dicey. If I find a red source, I have Flage active. Static Prison. Okay. I would consider that of medium importance at this point. Okay, I'm going to end their Goblin Bombardment. Or wait. I think I would much rather have my Fable back. That sounds correct. Yeah, give me that back. Let's reset this. And deploy a Drannith. Okay, we're getting close. Land number 4. If they spend this turn just slamming the One Ring, I actually think they're in the lock. And the ring doesn't matter. Flage, that matters. Are they worried about Drannith or Goblin? Drannith it is. Again, didn't ping me with Goblin Bombardment. We're getting a few free points here and there. Oh, made the attack. All right, they must have a plan to kill Goblin Shaman, because if I get a treasure, my Flage comes out of the graveyard. All right, where's this going? The Fable itself. All right. I get a Flage. There's Doomscar. Yeah, Flage makes more sense here than just a unsupported P-Storm. And although they've forgotten to use Goblin Bombardment 2 other times this game, I'm still going to go face because I want the life gain, in case they suddenly remember they have that card in play. Galvanic Discharge for a gajillion. I can just cast it again if they don't deal with my Goblin, though. Another Flage. They're just going face. Okay, they remembered Goblin Bombardments here. Unlucky for me. I'm going to recast Flage. Definitely need the life here, because I am dead on board at 4 life. I'm not in great shape at 7 life either, but it's definitely better than 4. And we've just seen the frustrating range of Boros Energy. Game 1, they just stuck a One Ring and ran away with it. This game, if they had tapped out for One Ring 2 turns ago, they would have died. But instead, they're just totally stable and doing fine. Because they had the other half of the deck. That is equally busto. Ooh, Search of Salvation's actually pretty gross here. I'm going to attack because both of these have useful attack triggers. Okay, I go to 6. What instants are in my deck? That's actually important to know right now. March of Otherworldly Light I've already cast. I think the instants in my deck are actually just the 2 Surges, which means Possibility Storm will hit Surge. Is Storm actually good here, though? Because Flage could be cast under the storm. Yeah, whatever. I came to game. It's in play. Count it. I've already used March, and there just aren't any instants in my deck. So I think this Surge has to hit Surge. We got No Boy in the chat. Yeah, get ready. Here we go. My best hope is that they just don't know that casting from the graveyard gets around this, because they actually just kind of have it beat already. All right, ring up to 5. And I can't foretell and then cast for foretell all in one turn to get around Possibility Storm. The text of foretell is cast it on a later turn for its foretell cost. Also, all the cards in their deck are good, so they could just randomly cast Ocelot Pride and end up with something else. All right, Possibility Storm, flip Static Prison into, looks like a different Static Prison. Okay. Exile target non-land permanent opponent controls. Okay, well, I could wait for this trigger to go on the stack, and then I could Surge. They're going after Flage. Interesting. All right. Surge, and hope that my calculations are correct, that this can only hit Surge. Oh no, cast it to the fire. I forgot I had this. Exile target artifact. Static Prison's an enchantment. Okay, well, I'll get rid of the One Ring, I guess. And then just die. My calculations were incorrect. And now they can play Flage from the graveyard and win easily. I got a lot of sorceries in the deck, and they're not necessarily helpful here. Scar could hit. There's one Scar left in the deck. It's most likely to hit another Prismatic Ending, which I would have to cast for 0 and not be useful. Ocelot Pride showed up somehow. Galvanic Discharge becomes something. Becomes Galvanic Discharge. Let's go. Wow, the possibilities are, it seems, exactly what you'd think they are. It's not too late. Lock Piece right now. Sun Cleanser. That will become a different creature, but many of my creatures are lock pieces. Let's try it. P-Storm. If we flip this into Dradith, all right, flipped it into Flage. Sure. 3 to Ocelot Pride. I just need it to be gone, even though I do just take damage here. What if that was Boromir? That would have been so sick. We would have done it for real. Okay, Suspended Doomscar. I am at 1 on board. They can escape Flage and then throw it at me with Goblin Bombardment. Right, Lightning Bolt. Place hit Galvanic Discharge. Raven Charm. That's a brick. And it exiles my Flage, but I'm nowhere close to using that. Oh, it destroys target enchantment. Boring. Nerd. Okay, now I'm definitely dead. Oh, they are down to 0 cards in hand. Like, they just got the card they drew this turn. And I did remove the One Ring. So I go to 1 here, but I can Doomscar this Flage, and I get 1 draw to maybe find Dranith to lock out the rest of the Flages. Cope. Am I out of Dranith? I feel like I've played a lot of them this game. There's 1 left. Boromir, I needed you last turn, you sack of shit. Alright, GG. Well, best deck in the format. Almost got the hooks in a couple times, and then came up short. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 2. This hand is very slow, but this deck's slow. I'll keep a Forest, Delighted Halfling. What deck does this right now? Yawgmoth? Maybe certain builds of Broodscale combo? Whoever you are, I want this gone. Finding a land there was a good draw. I do need lands to make this hand work. Saga. So probably Broodscale then, if that's what's going on here. Right, yeah, I see Glaring Fleshraker in their hand. Bunch of mana dorks to the graveyard. Dranith Magistrate. I don't think that matters here. A Steam Vents would finish my colors, but I don't play any of those. Okay. Good to know. Maybe there's supposed to be a Steam Vents in the deck. Maybe there's just not, though, because white is so important. I'm foretelling Doomscar this turn. I'm just deciding with what mana. I think I'm going to fetch Basic Mountain to save damage right now, and then I could fetch Hallowed Fountain next turn to do it all. I feel like this deck should have 1 Steam Vents in it. That's probably an oversight. They fetched a Waste, correctly playing around Blood Moon. A card that I do play, but is not in my hand right now. There's the Raker. Do I think I'm going to die this turn? Saga can tutor. If they have Brood Scale in hand, I'm very close to death. Alright, I'm going to get my Hallowed Fountain and play Doomscar. If that happened, I'm just so terrified of Glaring Fleshraker as a magic card. It's so busted. Stirrings, they did tutor the Blade. Found another Raker. They haven't played their land yet. There it is. And we're right back where we were a turn ago. Cool. I guess I'll play Fable and hope I'm not dead. This is the first card I bought from Modern Horizons 3 when it came out. I went to the game store, got this one first. It's just so clearly jacked up. The One Ring, another card that is difficult to play against in Magic games. I don't think Fleshraker should be banned in Modern. I definitely think the One Ring should. Okay, probably going to reveal a Possibility Storm here. Discard one to Fable, see what's going on. Hitting Needle. Okay, what are we naming with this? Reflection of Kiki Jiki? Do we think the game's going to go that long? It's a Fairy Time Raveler. Good call. That is in the deck. Didn't name Shark Typhoon, though. I'm going to discard Starheim and Possibility Storm. Ugh, Brick City. Well, I can exile Fleshraker. I could also attack with Goblin Shaman and see if they just want to trade with Fleshraker. I would be okay with that. If this reads as desperate. Am I more worried about Fleshraker or Blade of the Blood Chief? Because I could play another Fable and exile the Blade. I'm actually going to do that. Missing the land here just sucks so bad. They know what I'm about, though. I've given up the info. If between my draw step and Fable trigger, I find land Vexing Bauble, I could actually have the hooks in this turn. They just stirred up another Fleshraker. Come on! I'm sick of this thing. Chill. Okay, here it is. Number 3. They're almost out of them. But I'm also almost out of life points. And with 4 cards in their hand, I could just die this turn. Double Fleshraker does the thing pretty fast. They rumbled up a They can't take Kozilek's Command. They have to take one of these lands. They took the Forest. 2 cards left over there that aren't forests. Still casting spells. Walking Ballista, X equals 1. I am at 3 life, though. It will not take much to win from here. I can at least Doomscar this board if nothing else happens. It's not a good tiebreaker, though. Okay, I need this land. I'm going to discard Shark Typhoon, and I'm going to keep the land. Flage is not bad. Attack with goblins. Get my treasures. They're just making mana blocks. I can fetch myself to 3. When I Wrath, I go to 2 off the Ballista. I could also play Flage, kill one of the Fleshrakers. But this Ballista is so dangerous. Yeah, I think I just Wrath here. Get my other basic planes to save damage. Yep, I'm at 2. And facing down a One Ring versus a deck that's pretty good at direct damage. Basking Brood Scale is in. Springleaf Drum. And just a pass, alright. Brood Scale becomes 3/3 when it adapts. I will try to kill this thing right now. They will at least get the 1/1 out of it. Or the 0/1. Okay. I could play High Noon, I could play Draneth. Either one costs me my treasure. Either one requires me to rip a red source to continue playing the game. I don't think it's getting better if I wait, though. Alright. It's Noon. This could mitigate the ring. And they would need to play Broodscale and the sword in the same turn to win. And if I find another land, the Lava Axe is 1 mana away as they get burned by their ring. They're an Urza Saga deck, though, which is horrific to me. Because that means they have 3 more win cons in their deck that are not spells. There's one right there. There's Broodscale, that's their spell for turn. We know there is a sword coming out of the Saga if they're not already holding one in hand, which is pretty likely, actually. Oh, tapped. Why are you tapped? I don't need Flooded Strand at this point. I'll make Draneth Magistrate my spell for turn. That is blockers, at least. They're evolving their Broodscale in the end step. That's a 3/3. You got it. They get a spell this turn. They could play Kozilek's Command, but they didn't. They're at 9. If they don't win this turn, the High Noon just burn damage is actually a game plan. They're spending a lot of mana right now. Oh, they're just casting Ballista. That'll do. Bummer. And they have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There, exactly. They're on Ballista. Yep. Needed this land to come into play untapped, I think. Or one more life point. Or if they just didn't draw 5, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards off the ring this game. You know, them being one miracle rip away from being locked out and dead after drawing 16 cards, I'm calling this a moral victory. I'm claiming it. Okay, now what do? Consign to Memory is really good here. Blood Moon is solid here. Cast in the Fire does answer the ring, but so do all these consigns. Temporary Lockdown hits basically all the cards in their deck, except for the ring. I hate to say it, but maybe Shark Typhoon just isn't good enough to be in this deck. 2 for 2, boarding it out. Vexy Bauble might not make sense either. Like, the Drannith and Boromir at least have stats on them. Teferi is just great. Yeah, I think Bauble is the weak part of the deck. Maybe this should just be Boros. And, oh no, we need Teferi. Never mind. I actually need Starheim in as long as High Noon is in the deck, because that's the only way I can actually win. Once those hooks are in. Oh, Flage. Flage and Starheim. Flage might actually invalidate Starheim being in the deck at all. I don't think I'm going to bring in the lockdowns. This maps out nicely otherwise. Okay, I'll keep. Man, I'm just going to play Sacred Foundry tapped. I know I have the Surveil lands in the deck, but if this can get basic planes, if I draw one of my 3 Blood Moons, that's a big deal. It's a fairy. Drannith, get in. I don't know if this does anything against their actual deck, but it is part of my hooks. It is a 1/3. Saga. Soulless Jailer. Oh, hell yeah. They wanna play in the storm. I'm gonna fetch basic planes and bounce Urza's Saga right now. That's mostly a time walk. I don't care about this Soulless Jailer. Oh, this plays from exile. Well, that's not gonna work. Rumble. There's a Brood-Scale Halfling that could be chosen here. Or no, you get any permanent, right? Okay. Yeah, you could also take the Blade. Did take the Blade, alright. Just chaining Teferis together at this point. And I'll take it. If I can just time walk my opponent a bunch of times in a row while I develop, that works for me. If they fart around too long, I'll just cast Starnheim. No way, Jose. Counter that shit. Plus Teferi. I'm going to attack with Drannith because Flage can kill the Soulless Jailer. And they know that. So they didn't block, but I have something else to do as well. They came up with a Flesh Raker. Flage can kill that. Okay, some amount of discarding is going to happen. I don't need Drannith. I've already got that hook in twice. And Starnheim doesn't work with Soulless Jailer anyway. Yeah, I'll just loot away 2. Blood Moon kills the Urza Saga. Am I more worried about this Saga or this Flesh Raker? I think it's Flesh Raker. I'll just kill that thing. And I can Prismatic Ending the Blade of the Blood Chief at instant speed. I can also exile the Soulless Jailer if I want to. We'll see what happens here. Mostly just want to draw a Possibility Storm. We're here. We did it. Come on. Deliver. Haywire Might. Okay. That does answer P-Storm eventually. Kinda. Or they could blow up my Fable now, which I don't mind. The One Ring. That card is frustrating, but it's in. What do I want to do with this ending right now? I could take out the Haywire Might while they don't have mana. Yeah, I'm not that worried, actually, about the Soulless Jailer. I got all these Teferis, I'll figure it out. I'm also just pushing damage on board. If nobody could cast spells, I'm winning this game. Fable wakes up. Does Blood Moon do anything here? Does Bouncing Soulless Jailer do anything here? I could just attack and play Chandra. Not excited to die on the backswing to that, though. I'm going to attack with Drannith and Goblin. They're probably just not going to block because they're under ring protection. Cool. Okay, now what? Plus play Chandra? And then plus Chandra? Can they win from this position? It might be close. High Noon mitigates the... Okay, I'm going to play Blood Moon and High Noon. Blood Moon. I have to do it in that order. That stuffs the One Ring for a little while. Now they're drawing like mad. They besiegered my High Noon. I would like a land here. I'll get Elegant Parlor. I guess I should have gotten a basic. The Blood Moon's still in play, isn't it? Alright, multiple blades are in play. Yeah, that was a mistake. That was streamer brain. I just thought for a second that they killed the Blood Moon, but obviously why would they do that? It's fine. We'll make it work. I'm gonna bounce, I think, Soulless Jailer here. Yeah, I would like to take a big draw, get punished. Big draw was bad. Copy my Goblin Shaman. Apply the beats. Good chance I die this turn, though. Double Blade of the Blood Chief is nasty. I have 8 mana. I could play another Teferi first before I mess around with Flage. I'm actually going to do that. In case this hits Possibility Storm, I want to give myself the out. Bounce the One Ring. Did not hit it. I bounced the Ring because I'm more worried about them finding their combo pieces than I am about them having protection for a turn. So, I'm currently worried about everything. Just not finding a Peace Orb has been rough. They do only have 1 colorless mana, though. That's not irrelevant. The Ring is back. This is another turn to find the storm. Come on, deck. Consign to Memory probably also wins this game. So many lands. All right. That is what it is. I will collect my treasures and gain my 3 life. Just deal 3 to Flage. That's a thing we can do. And I'll play Chandra. Plus it. Okay. Opponent's going to die real fast, but they are also a combo deck. 10 cards in hand over there. Stirrings. There goes their green mana for the turn. And Brute Scale is a green card. Well, it's a colorless card, but you need green to cast it. There's Brute Scale. If, like, they need green to cast this and green to adapt it. And they just played another mountain. Springleaf Drum doesn't get you there. Soulless Jailer starts to get you there. Here's Brood Scale. If they can equip and kill something. But I don't know how they would do that from the resources they have. Oh, clever. Okay, yep. That makes sense. Vexing Bauble would have beat that line. Boromir would have beat that line. Or is Boromir a non-creature spell? I don't even know. I gotta read that one. Cast a spell if no mana was spent. Yep, Boromir or Bauble would have beat that line. And now they have an infinite thing with infinite colorless mana. If they have a second Ballista in hand, they can win right now. Or Fleshraker. Yeah, they got a million ways to win right now. That was a clever line. Good job, opponent. But this game really did come down to just drawing, what was that, like 5 lands in a row? When in a spot where a counterspell, a removal spell, a possibility storm all win the game. Even High Noon, Boromir, any of those things win the game. How savage would it be if I had the consign the whole time and I just wanted to waste their clock to consign their Walking Ballista? I haven't conceded yet because they do need to show me a Ballista to win. Because if they just do the thing where they make all of these spawns infinitely large and then pass the turn, that's a game I could still win. That's a game I actually have won on board. The Flage 3, 2 Chandra Emblems, 2 ring damage. So they do actually have to show me Ballista here. I see their mana leaving their pool. I believe that they have it. Yeah, I mean, tough beats. We saw the deck mostly do what it was supposed to do here. It was just bricking off for 4 or 5 draws in a row. Oh, Kozilek's Command. This is not what I thought was going to happen. All right, so they're just going to look at most of their deck here and find the other Ballista. Let's see Scry 22 to the bottom. It's just not there. Fingers crossed. I think it's impossible for it to not be there because, well, not impossible before the math nerds get at me, because they're technically 10 cards in the deck they're not looking at. And if all 10 of those cards are their remaining Ballistas and Fleshrakers, and their remaining Kozilek's commands to dig for the remaining 10 cards, it could happen. That might be a total of 10 cards, and they might be exactly in the wrong spot. They took 1 on the top, 21 to the bottom. The perfect scry. Not 1 mana wasted. Glaring Fleshraker. I do not have protection. Now every time they do this, I take 2. Alright, this will not take them 6 minutes to execute. GG's. Yep, ran bad for a few turns under a ring and ended up getting ground out, but mostly executed to plan here and gives me hope. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables.
On the draw in round 3 with the clunkiest, wonkiest Pioneer ass hand this deck could ever produce. With a land, I'm still not doing anything till turn 3, and that's not how Modern works. I'm going to mulligan. Oh no, it's getting worse. These Shark Typhoons. All right. I think immediately on the rebuild, we bring the blue splash down to just Teferi and the sideboard consigns. Okay, we found a hand I can keep. Bottom Chandra and Basic Mountain. Opponent went to 6. Sacred Foundry. Oh, good. No Gigantha revealed, which means this is probably Mardu. Hallowed Fountain. Do I actually want to commit? I will keep this card, because I am going to need 5 lands to play the game, and that is a blue one for the Shark Typhoon that's in my hand, and the Teferi that is part of good games. Pride's getting in. I will take the damage from this Hallowed Fountain to foretell Doomscar. Feel like this has to happen. Fetching in the end step. For a Godless Shrine, perhaps? Ooh, Steam Fence. Alright. Jeskai is not something I was expecting. Let's see where this goes. A Wooded Foothills. Are we adding more colors? What's going on over there? If this is like Domain Zoo, this Doomscar might be sick. That is the remaining Domain cards. Kept a card on top. Yeah, if they just play Territorial Kavu right now, my Doomscar is pretty good. I am down to 15 life, and they haven't done anything yet, though. Smart. Ooh, Flage, let's go. That's a card I could play with. Let's fight off this Ocelot Pride. Get a little life buffer. Okay, now they kind of have to do something, which they didn't have to do up to this point. I'm a little worried about Stubborn Denial. If they do dump out a Kavu and leave up blue mana, that's concerning. Okay, they tapped out of the blue to play Scion. I hope they have land creature. Just dump them out. Play out Ragavan. Just like play something that dies. All right. They could not give me my wish. Okay, I'll Wrath here. Sacred Foundry tapped. Pass the turn. Okay, it's turn 4, and I'm still at 14 life versus Domain Zoo. You're saying there's a chance. Land number 4. Are they going to cast the ley line that they drew on turn 1? Goblin Bombardment. Okay, so this is some hybrid energy zoo deck. What a nightmare. Okay, this is so much worse than anything else that they could have done with 4 mana. And Teferi doesn't even do anything against this board. I'm so dead. This interaction's insane. Drannith Magistrate. I could just play 2 Dranniths. I could cycle a 3/3 Shark in combat. I think 3/3 Shark is the game plan right now. Shark Typhoon, let's go. I need you now. Territorial Kavu has joined the party. Okay, they made their cat pre-combat. That means they need another spell to finish off the Shark. Oh, this is a 2/2 Shark. My bad. Thought it was a 3/3. It's been a while since I played with this card. I have to make the 2/2 because I don't want them to be able to just pick off with Goblin Bombardment before I get to block. Lightning Bolt is fine here or something like that. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, this interaction just beats every deck that can't actively remove one of these things. Yeah, I just have no plan and no hope of winning at this point. Shocking stuff, actually. We didn't actually see any energy. We saw the cat half of the deck. Search of Salvation, something I want here, maybe. Temporary Lockdown is huge. I don't think I want this other stuff. The Wraths are big. Vexing Baubles out. I think Chandra goes too. Some of the Shark Typhoons. Especially if I'm bringing in my Blood Moons, which I am. And I'll leave 1 Typhoon in. Let's go. Okay. Solid hand. I have the whole combo ready. This deck even features the massive value line of temporarily lock things down, use Teferi to bounce the lockdown, giving them all their stuff back on a turn where I cast a Doomscar. It could happen. Guide of Souls. All right. Energy is in the deck. I'm going to get Elegant Parlor, because basic lands are better off of the Tarn and the Mesa. I will need 5 lands eventually. I am going to play the Draneth just to make them build out a board. I can't just let them chip shot me for free. Ocelot Pride. Okay, I can play this temporary lockdown. I could play and plus Teferi. It's 3-4. You know, Lightning Bolt on Teferi kind of stinks. Or if they kill Draneth, then they get to sweep up Teferi and I never get to draw a card. Yeah, I guess I'll just lock down here. Yeah, everything's in there. That was a 2 for 2. My lockdown and my Draneth for their guide and their cat. Datha Triumph fetched. I hope they play some just individual dumper here, like a Scion or a Kavu, something that Teferi can bounce cleanly and get me through it. Stony Silence. Did I show them any artifacts in game 1? Oh, they probably think I'm a one-ring deck. That's so sick. Starnheim Unleashed. Well, the Arena of Glory does make the Teferi pretty awkward. If this wasn't here, my life would be so much easier. I might just make a 4/4 Angel Warrior. Let's go. As Garfield intended. Yeah, the arena messed me up. Otherwise, I could have just played Teferi, plussed it, next turn Peace Storm, bounce their creature, and then they're in the hooks. Leyline Binding, that works. Teferi's not even a good answer to that. Oh, okay, they're going after the lockdown. Sure. Okay. That's still bad, but okay. Okay, the only Planeswalkers in my deck are Teferis right now, which means that if I play Peace Storm, there's one turn of weirdness, and then they're in the locks next turn. Oh wait, Draneth's in play now. I can just shove Peace Storm. They don't get any more spells. Okay. We got the hooks in. Can it actually beat this engine, though, is the question. Having a 4/4 in play is a big deal right now, because this board would have been difficult to beat otherwise. Angel Warrior get in, and then next turn Teferi can bounce their Leyline Binding, which will get back Temp Lockdown, which will exile all their shit. And all my shit, but they will be locked out of the game. Unless they play Boseiju. Magic's so powerful these days, especially Modern and beyond. There's just a solution to anything. Ocelot Pride. Opponent's about to learn how this works. You exile some amount of your deck, you don't get to play a spell. I'll put those on the bottom, and we'll continue. I wonder how long, 1712, when they cast that spell on the clock, how long before they realize they can't cast it. Okay, not that bad. About 10 seconds. Okay, this thing can get double pumped, but then next turn I shut it all down. And I am going to block because my angel dies anyway. Here comes all this shit. And I'm just trying to fade Boseiju, who endures. I think that's the only card I care about. Teferi, flip into Teferi, bounce Leyline Binding, permanently lock down everything. Nothing temporary about this lockdown. I even drew another Draneth, which can flip into a random creature in my deck. How about Flage? And it's over. We did it. We did the thing. Jordan, we're on the board. They're still cracking mana. Cracking lands for mana. Shocked something in. But why? Okay, that's exiled. And you cannot cast it. Opponent learning in real time all of these miserable interactions. The Draneth, the Teferi. It's all here. These are not here. Oh, they're not done. Still casting spells. Yeah, Flage exiled. Reveals Kavu also exiled. Cannot be cast. This is a lock. We are seeing a bunch of their deck as they go, though. Stubborn Denial confirmed. Leyline confirmed. Now I just need to win the game somehow. What enchantments are in my deck? Fable, those are good. Another Peace Storm gets the Boseiju hooks in. All right, I'll cast High Noon and flip into, hopefully, Fable. Temporary lockdown. I don't need another one of those. It does get it out of the deck, though. Yeah, it doesn't hurt me to have that in play. And pass. I just need to get a card in my graveyard somehow, and then Flage will win the game. Still casted spells. Flipped Draco. Another Draco. Reveals a Johnny. Just showing me their deck on the way through here. Okay, they've had enough. Nice. Nice. Okay, we've seen Stubborn Denial now, which does add a fold to the deck. I was already suspicious of it, but knowing it's there is extra relevant. Yeah, Blood Moon, Fable, all my sweepers. Cast Into the Fire does answer Ocelot Pride, but not the other creatures I've seen. Sun Cleanser. I have now seen Energy in the deck. I think a 2-mana 1/4 is actually just more valuable than Shark Typhoon here. And poor Shark Typhoon. Hopefully we get a slow matchup where that matters. But there are no slow matchups in Modern. The format is busted. Chandra is another sweeper that I could flip into, but I think that last game knowing that Teferi was going to flip Teferi gave me a lot of comfort. Okay, let's go. One lander with a ton of interaction. I am going to keep this, but I understand the risks I'm taking. They started on the ley line this game. First appearance of that one. A tap land. Breathing Room. All right, I just want to draw like 3 lands in a row now. What if I play March and exile 2 cards right now and take out the ley line? Do I think that's worth doing? Probably not compared to getting the Surveil land that I desperately need here. Now I have Boromir to go with Peace Storm, which means the whole setup is here if I just draw 4 lands in a row. Thoughtseize. Sure. Go nuts. Oh, I had Drannith already. I didn't need the Boromir. Boromir! But I have 2 and 2. They can't Thoughtseize me off the combo here. Took an ending. You ever Thoughtseize your opponent and just see 7 spells? It's a lot of those. Guide of Souls. Okay. Big moves right now. Getting Elegant Parlor, hoping to see a land off the Surveil. Parlor. Trigger. High Noon to the graveyard. Come on, deck. Deliver the goods. Always had it. Prismatic Ending this thing. And play Sacred Foundry tapped. Let's just do that 3 more times in a row. They're down to 3 cards in hand. The Leyline plus Thoughtseize business was a lot of things that don't deal damage, basically. All right, Drannith, get in. Might as well start somewhere. We did see Flage in their deck, which is turns off on the back end, but it dies on the front end. Oh, not a great answer. Fetching land number 4. Are they going to play the One Ring? Is this a card in your deck? Probably. Flage, all right. Fine. Come on, deck. Land. Shit. Oh, hard mode activated. Pass the turn. But we're not under crushing game-ending, life-ending pressure right now, which I will take as a win. And I do have to remember that any of their lands can cast Stubborn Denial, so them intentionally leaving up Underground Mortuary might be a tactic to trick me that I have to make sure I don't fall for. Well, next land, let's go. There are 19 lands still in my 46 card deck right now. Slightly less than 50-50 to draw one each turn. Scion is the card I'm most worried about. Soul Guide Lantern, fascinating. I guess they did see Flage, sure. This is just so many reactive cards out of a deck like theirs. Starnheim Unleashed, alright. Something that I could do something with. Foretell that. And they've seen Doomscar, so they have to think about that. They also saw Starnheim, but I just cast it straight up. They'll probably draw a card with Soul Guide here and then try to get Flage going on their turn. If the card that's been sitting in their hand the whole game is Stubborn Denial, which is a good candidate, because what would be in their hand that they haven't played out yet? I could be in a lot of trouble. Thoughtseize. Get in there. Have a peek. Took my Teferi. Teferi is the worst answer in my hand to a Flage. Alright, Flage is in. I can exile it with what I have. March of Otherworldly Light does it. If I draw a blue source, that also does it. Or I could draw another Possibility Storm. Alright, Flage. I'm going to exile Temporary Lockdown. X is 3. I hope I did this right, Magic Online. Exile this thing. Okay, we did it. Back to holding. I've drawn all 3 of my Peace Storms before I drew my 3rd land. Guide of Souls. They know I could kill that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. End the guide. I could pay for Stubborn Denial now because they don't have the big enough creature. Weird game, but it is a game. Goblin Bombardment. If a Johnny shows up, I'm in trouble. End step, I'm going to get the Meticulous Archive. Colors are set up. We get another look here. Blood Moon doesn't matter because there's a ley line in play. Is this timestamps? Uh-oh. Okay. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to the earth and type. Non-lethal lands are mine. I think this is timestamps, right? But I can't play with this card in play either. I'm actually going to get rid of Blood Moon. I'm off it. I've had to play on non-basics. Cool. All right, Boromir, get in there, fella. I am now one land drop away from the lock. Leyline Binding. Okay. I could sack Boromir to have the ring tempt me, but I do have ways in my deck to remove Leyline Binding, which I would rather actually have Boromir under that than in my graveyard. Leyline Binding also checks the box of what card might they have that they haven't played for the whole game. I was thinking Stubborn Denial, but if they were worried about Teferi, it wasn't that, so I think it was that Binding. Cycling Triomes now. Just don't find heckin' a Johnny, please. Not cracking this fetch, because I actually want lands in my deck. Flage, okay. Game on. I don't even need anything else to go with this. I just cast it next turn. I've not forgotten about Starnheim. I can make one angel right now. My next land makes 2 angels. They played Arid Mesa. Lots of mana in the pool right now. Also a Flage. All right, we're gaming. Mine is better because I have a graveyard. They need 2 more cards in theirs before theirs works. And they did not get the extra point off of the bombardment. Nobody's interested in that today. Ooh. Is Flage better than getting Storm down? Storm is just random nonsense at this point. Yeah, I'll play Flage. Wow, they don't even want to play through this. You have Leyline Binding in your deck. What's going on? Just scooping it up to that? All right, well, I will take it. We did the thing. On to the next round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the play for round 4 with a nice low curve of interaction and selection. I'm in. Archive, just want to see a land here. Doomscar. I'm actually going to bin that because my hand is plenty interactive if I find the 3rd land. Opponent immediately knows something's weird. Okay, we're playing against Belcher. This is interesting. Okay, I don't actually know if my deck lines up great or terribly against Belcher. I certainly have a bunch of things, but the modern Belcher deck doesn't function the way Eternal Belcher decks do, where they cast many spells all in one turn. They build up slowly. Disrupting Shoal, pitching Baleen? I thought this was Baleen, like whales have, but Baleen. I don't even know what that is. All right, sure. That's gone. Hymn to Turok resolved, clearing the way for Teferi. This deck is full of free permission, though. They have a bunch of the Augur of Bolas type wizards in their deck. There's one of them. And then they have the counterspell that's free. They milled over 3 lands and took the Waterlogged Teachings. Vexing Bauble. That is a tough beat for them. I'm going to start with Teferi. Sacred Foundry. This is just the one that jacks them up the hardest. I think they have to counter any of these spells if I cast them, and Teferi is the one that's best for me if it resolves and worse for them if it resolves. Let's just force the action immediately. Yep, Flare of Denial. You did it. I guess I could have spent a turn March of Otherworldly Lighting the creature to turn off Flare. Here's a Thundertrap Trainer. Grabbing Disrupting Shoal. We know they have a 4-drop in hand. Mana value has to equal X, not X or less. This land is a great draw. That lets me lead on Vexing Bauble and then see what they want to do. Because this does mess up the Shoal. It messes up so many things. The Shoals, the Flares. And I'm going to resolve Fable right now. I think I just want basic Mountain. Save myself some damage, and my colors are already set up, plus I'm about to be making treasures. They thought about that for a long time, and I don't know why, because Bauble is there. They can hardcast Disrupting Shoal now for X equals 1. This could make it 2. Waterlogged Teachings is in their hand still. Shark Typhoon. I'm going to discard Shark Typhoon and Boromir. Okay, I like those cards. Attacking with my Goblin. And I'll try a Teferi now, see what they want to do about it. They can't quite hardcast Disrupting Shoal. All right, wow. Dropping the hammer. Basically played a hate piece every turn of that game. Boarding out Blood Moon. That actually is like pretty good for them. It just makes their land center untapped. They can't cast the creatures. Maybe that Blood Moon is actually solid. I don't even know. Harbinger of the Seas is the one that's bad. Blood Moon might be good. Okay, I have to rebuild that. Heuristic. Does this deck actually even function under Blood Moon? Because I know Harbinger of the Seas just upgrades their mana base. Yeah, Blood Moon's actually good, where the other one is bad. Okay, I'm back in. Consign to Memory counters Belcher. Search of Salvation can stuff a Belcher activation. It gives me hexproof, but I don't really want them to have a Belcher in play. I don't think Drannith helps me here. And it goes off with P-Storm, but that's all it does. Doomscar, that's actually bad. Yeah, they basically have to find Lotus Bloom to do anything if a Blood Moon is down. Are there cards worse than Drannith still in my deck? I do like Prismatic Ending and March, because clearing their creatures turns off their counterspells. Especially the March, because that could exile Belcher, and they have Tameshi in their deck. That's one of the loops they play too. Yeah, Tameshi returns the card from the graveyard. It doesn't let you cast it. Oh no, I need one more card. Drannith, I cut too many. Okay. There we go. Now, this Belcher deck is fascinating to me, personally, because I have never lost to it. I've never come close to losing to it. Yet it keeps winning tournaments and is a top 3 deck in Modern right now, by the numbers, according to MTG Goldfish. It must be good against something. A Hydroelectric Laboratory. Fable. I'm going to play Arid Mesa and get some selection off of probably Elegant Parlor. Played a tapped Laboratory. Parlor, show me a land. Any land's fine, but preferably a blue source. Blood Moon. I'm not ready for that. Put it into the graveyard. Consign to Memory. Tough beats. I am going to need a land next turn, or else I'm doing very little. They saw Doomscar game 1. I milled it over with a land. If I stumble and let them develop, that's certainly a way that they can win games. And now they're at the point where they can just cast all the counterspells in the deck. That's really powerful. They could also War of Invention for Lotus Bloom now, and then just untap and do crazy stuff. Well, my opponent disconnected and reconnected from the game a number of times, and now the match is over. So, awkward, but also scoreboard. Still have never seen Belcher win a match. On to the next round. Final round is upon us. Positive record on the line, or on the draw versus a Jeggy strategy. As things begin, so they end. I've kept my hand. It's got both parts of the combo. I'm not going to mulligan into Prismatic Ending. Like, I just will not do it, but that might be what it takes, honestly. Being on the draw sucks really hard. The Osla Pride is getting in. My plan is to fetch the Elegant Parlor. Oh, we're double priding. Checking for sweepers in my main deck. Check, check, check. And the answer is nope. Unless I get to Chandra. Oh, right now I have Doomscar. I'm just losing my mind here. I'm Vexing Bauble into the graveyard. Okay, I do have Doomscar I could hit. That's not it. Shocking in a Shockland feels bad. Honestly, if my opponent is hyper dialed into fringe bullshit and Magic, they could already deduce what I'm playing. Having Vexing Bauble and Drannith in the main in a Jeskai deck is definitely Possibility Storm. Which might feel weird to say, but this was a thing that was pretty popular in Pioneer before Teferi got banned. Alright, well, I needed to suspend Doomscar last turn and also have a land. Neither of those things happened. Yikes. That was a bloodbath. Okay. Sun Cleanser, Temp Lockdown. These definitely happen. Cast into the Fire, I like. My Blood Moon's definitely coming out. The Vexing Baubles don't really do anything here. I don't hate High Noon. The Chandra is an interesting object because it is a sweeper in the deck, but it also costs 6. I think I'm going to cut Starnheim Unleashed. And I got to lose one more here. I think one of the Shark Typhoons. Maybe it's actually like this. All right. Poor Shark Typhoon. I love this card so much, and it's just not what we're doing here. I brought in Surges last time. Should I do that again? I don't think so. I'm going in. Okay, once again, kind of slow, no sweeper. I do have a removal spell this time, though, that can kill a double Ocelot Pride start. Elegant Parlor plus Island is all my colors. Cool, it's the one that Casting the Fire doesn't kill. Parlor. Ooh, okay. It's not the land that I wanted, but it's literally anything that does anything, so I will take it. They have to think about Spell Snare here. It's not a card I play, but they do have to think about it. Backup Guide of Souls. Come on, land, big money. Yeah, easy, easy. It's a Teferi, get in. I want to try to slow down velocity and critical mass of doing stuff, which is why I'm playing Teferi instead of Fable, even though I would like to get Fable ticking and move towards my endgame. But you have to survive the early game first. Dumped a Thraben Charm. Cool. I don't care if they Blood Moon me here. That would be a great use of resources, actually. Johnny's in. I am prepared for this. Doomscar. Interesting. Okay, so they have in their hand the Guide of Souls. I think I'm going to foretell Doomscar and end the cat. I'm ending the cat just to try to slow down a nut draw situation here. If they flip a Johnny, the Prismatic Ending could have answered the Planeswalker, but then Doomscar's worse. Ah, they did have it. Do they have another cat to punish me with? Of course they do. Of course they do! Actually played around this, still losing to it. And this deck is fun. A Meticulous Archive would have been better last turn. Do I want a 5th land in this environment? Okay, they're going to attack me for 4, and then hit me for at least another 4 off of Johnny next turn. I think I have to Doomscar this turn. Means I'm going to keep the Sacred Foundry on top. Yeah, we're just losing on every axis. I needed this to not happen. I tried to play around it, even at great cost to myself, and got punished for it. Guide of Souls, make an idiot. I'm at 12. You get energy. This opponent remembered to use their Goblin Bombardment too, which is basically cheating. Okay. Basically no opportunity to deploy this Fable ever. I could make the 4/4. Just put that in play. Jeskai will arrive with haste next turn. Could even be a huge-o. Oh, the 4/4 doesn't even work. It just dies to a Johnny. Cheese and rice. Okay. I'm going to play Sacred Foundry tapped. I'm going to try to use Shark Typhoon to survive this combat. That's at least a creature that they can't kill with a Johnny. Are they going to spend their energy? They are. Okay. I'll make a 2/2 Shark and block Guide of Souls. I go to 7 off this exchange. Chandra does not kill Jeskai. The One Ring, you love to see it. Johnny can kill my Shark, because they saved their activation. I would take the land here. No, I died anyway. Yeah, I'm just dead to everything. Alright, the game is over. Horrendous. Ban this shit, Wizards of the Coast. How can any deck compete with this? Disgusting. Okay. We beat everyone who wasn't playing energy? Is that how this league actually went? Oh no, I lost to Brood-Scale also. Barely. That's the one where I flooded out. Okay. I beat the Energy Zoo deck. I beat Belcher, kind of. And we lost to Boros Energy twice and had a super tight, interesting one versus Brood-Scale combo. Okay, so immediately to tune up this deck, the biggest thing that would help this deck is if they ban the One Ring. That would be cool. I think we played against the One Ring. It was 3 out of 5 rounds for sure. But what we can do for ourselves without Wizards intervening is Shark Typhoon. Didn't really do what we needed to do. It was just too slow. Once you get the hooks in, you have ways to win. I think Flage really just solves a lot. Because Flage you can power into Vexing Bauble, and then it gets countered, then it's in your graveyard or it works the next turn. It doesn't break you out of High Noon, but you can sack High Noon at any point to deal 5 to any target, and then play a different spell. You can get yourself out of that one. The Doomscars are actually pretty cool. 3-mana sweepers in this format, not bad. I might even add another one of those. I'm not sure that we need Starnheim anymore with Flage in the deck. So probably Starnheim, at least 2, if not all of the Shark Typhoons can come out. You could even just add like lightning bolts or something that keeps the board clear longer. You can play 4 Flage if you want. In 3 mana, the deck is pretty gummed up already, so maybe that's not the answer, but Shark Typhoon certainly isn't it. Starnheim Unleashed probably isn't it. And the rest of the stuff is pretty cool. Maybe even add a land. And honestly, what we should do is add the One Ring, but I refuse. We're not doing that. I think just adding a Steam Vents to the deck over one of the Shark Typhoons, and then maybe some lower cost interaction. It could be something as simple as Lightning Bolt. Jordan actually had 1 Path to Exile in the deck that I ended up cutting because I didn't want to ramp my opponents, and I added all these prismatic endings, and at one build we had Solitude in it. There's a bunch of stuff you could consider for that sort of situation. But surviving the first 3 turns, getting your first 3 land drops under you while you still have life total to play the game is a box that we really need to check. This was fun though, Jordan. I hope this moved your project forward and you have some ideas for creating possibility storms in Modern. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.